We have one episode left of The Acolyte before the season is over, and it seems like after each episode in the series premieres, the following week, series creator and former personal assistant to Harvey Weinstein, Leslye Headland, does her rounds with friendly media outlets and podcasts in order to try to defend the problems that her show created and some of the lore-breaking elements to it and explain why they're not lore-breaking or why they're not a big deal or why it's a good thing. And, all the same song and dance number. And all that's pretty much been what's been going on since the show has premiered. But this last week after the episode premiered, a lot of people were pointing out some of the lore-breaking elements, and Leslye Headland did her usual thing and tried to defend it, this time with one of the editors for the Mary Sue. And during this interview, one of the bigger YouTube Star Wars channel, Star Wars Theory, did a reaction to said interview where he was basically dismantling Leslye Headland's arguments, which is okay. That's kind of the stuff that he does because he talks about Star Wars related content and all that jazz. But the editor for the Mary Sue who did this interview got pretty mad at Star Wars Theory for basically not only making her look dumb, but making Leslye Headland look dumb. So she decided to go off on Star Wars Theory. But before we get into the details of what she said with him specifically, let's look at this actual interview and what was said during it and kind of the remarks Star Wars Theory made about it. The Mary Sue assistant editor, Rachel Leishman, raged after YouTuber Star Wars Theory demolished Leslye Headland after watching interview Leishman conducted with the Acolyte showrunner. They're talking about some of the stuff that was said in this interview about Leslye Headland's decision to include Keanu Mundi in there and why Star Wars Theory thinks that's lore breaking and all that other stuff. But let's jump down a little bit further where it gets a little bit more of the meat of this whole argument here. Headland asserts with Anakin, it was to save his wife, and she's talking about why Anakin went to the dark side. It was to stop the suffering of the people he loved more than anything in the world, more than his own self. That's why it's so tragic. Like, he almost put her over so much stuff. For this, Star Wars Theory replied, if one watched the films, one would know that Padme was not suffering. Rather, Anakin was reacting to a potential future in which she dies, and he wanted to prevent that from happening. Theory also explains, it wasn't so much about Anakin saving Padme because he loves her more than anything. Yes, surface level here. We're seeing surface level. That's what it looks like. It is more so about Anakin's selfishness. It is more so about Anakin's promise to himself and his mother that he would never allow this to happen again as an inferiority to his own abilities and power, which he blames on the Jedi. Theory goes on to talk about how Anakin's fall to the dark side was not necessarily about his desire to save Padme. It was more so his own selfish desire to get more power. He thought the Jedi were holding him back, and he was just trying to use Padme as justification to himself for why he was so power hungry. For this, Leishman was pretty upset with Star Wars Theory. She reacted with rage at Star Wars Theory for simply correcting her lies. I'm not going to go so far as to say she's outright lying because I don't know that for sure, but I'm just going to say that at best she was just wrong in her assessment of the original Star Wars, or not the original, the prequel Star Wars trilogy. She posted on X, oh, Star Wars Theory decided to do a reaction video to my interview because if he isn't effing grifting off of Star Wars, he's grifting off of women and sending his minions after them. F off and go build some faulty lightsabers while crying on camera. Now, she sounds like a pleasant person. She continued, to be clear, I really don't give an F. Anyone who resorts to calling a woman a cow because of a Star Wars show is literally pathetic. I just didn't understand why I've had to delete hundreds of comments all of a sudden, and it's because of this jagoff. I guess if I also had no neck, no riz... How old is she? Looked like a box and had a itty personality, I would grift off of others and hate on them. Actually, I wouldn't because I'm a nice person. Yes, you're a ray of sunshine, sweetheart. I also benefit from my winning personality and hot bod, unlike Star Wars. Her winning personality and hot bod, according to her. I'm not going to say anything about her appearance in here, but that's her. You be the judge for yourself. Let's continue. Based on a viewing of the video, Theory does not use the term cow at all. He also did not use it in his live stream where he briefly touched on the interview as well. The Dream Cow also does not appear in the comments of the original interview video on the Mary Sue's YouTube channel. In fact, Leishman would later reveal she did not watch Theory's video at all. She wrote, "I mean this with the utmost respect. Do you think I watched this ish? All his fans have been leaving incredibly gross comments on my interview of that he said so." So she doesn't even have any proof that he said any of these things. She's just saying like, oh, people told me that he said these sort of things, so I'm just going to take it and run with it. Before you go on an unhinged rant like she did here, you could at least verify whether the accusations that you're lobbying against him are actually genuine instead of just hearsay, when it's so easy just to go onto his own YouTube channel and verify these sort of things. But apparently she never thought to do that, or she's just not smart enough to do such a thing, so she never did. But anyway, to this comment, I love this remark from Theory, working on my Riz for you with this picture post. I love it. That's so fantastic. That's really all you could do with people like this, is just mock them. And then pretty recently, he also posted this, coward, that she blocked him. So not only is she not even going to verify the comments that he said about her, but she's just going to block him and not even try to verify and continue to just lob these attacks at him. But fine, if that's what she wants to do, go ahead. The Mary Sue, the bastion of journalistic integrity right there with this one. But anyway, yes, the Acolyte, Star Wars Theory is right, how they're just breaking the lore in that thing. And everyone knows that that's why the show's doing so terrible. It's not because of review bombing or whatever. The only review bombing is that there's just overwhelming majority of Star Wars fans do not like this show. And that's why not only the viewership are dropping off, but the audience ratings is just a low for any Star Wars property today. And it's looking like episode 8's coming around, and maybe that's going to be something that ties it all together and everyone's gonna be like, oh, it makes sense now. But I'm not holding out that that's going to be the case. I think this is just kind of go down in history as the worst Star Wars series to date. And I'm wondering if they actually are going to renew it for a second season, because if Lucasfilm is smart, they're just going to pull this right now. But crazier things have happened. But for people out there who actually want to watch decent Star Wars property that they might not have heard of, and just pretty much like a fan film, like what the Acolyte is for a fan film from someone who isn't a fan, why not check out something like this? Because I wanted to recommend something that people would actually enjoy. And here we have Darth Maul Apprentice. It's a fan film that came out, when was it? 8 years ago. I'm going to leave a link to this video in the description of my video. I'm sure it doesn't need any help to be promoted. It has 33 million views, way more views than I have on all my videos put together. But this is a good fan film for Star Wars, and I recommend people check this out if they haven't seen it before. And maybe this will kind of wash the taste out of your mouth from the Acolyte. But let me know what you think about this whole situation in the comment section below. Do you think Star Wars Theory was out of line, or do you think Rachel Leishman was out of line with this one? Comment below, let me know. And if you haven't already, make sure you click the subscribe button if you want to stay up to date with the latest entertainment news. And don't forget to click that like button and share the video out there, because it helps out with the channel. Thank you.